This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Regen auf mein Kopf. Hinter via Deckel muss es die kleine Fahrt ein Top. Geht mir kein Sach mit, die Tropfen.
Hey everyone, welcome to Kill Me Now with Judy Gold. I'm your host, Judy Gold, and I am in pain, but I'm still doing my intro for my part 2 interview with Zainab Johnson, which I heard a lot of people enjoyed. I really hope you enjoy part 2. She's really amazing, and what an incredible life. Not attractive. Kidding! Anyway, I am doing much better with my knee, although I have to say it still kills, but I can walk. I can walk in the apartment without a cane. I can't walk outside without a cane. I have to do one step at a time, but I'm really pushing myself. And I start PT in a facility this week, in a facility like I'm fucking 90 years old. So that's going to help because they're going to do all this shit to my knee, but it's 1,000 times better than the last time. Like I think I can bend it 90 degrees if I push it really hard. I can straighten it. It's just the pain and the swelling. And it's like, and Elisa's like, Judy, it's major surgery and they sawed off your bone. Like they sawed into your bones. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. But and I'm so fucking sick of everyone telling, who's your doctor? Oh yeah, no, it's going to take, everyone knows everything. I fucking hate that everyone thinks they know everything. Is anyone else feeling like that? Everyone thinks that, and as you know, everyone knows everything about the Middle East. But I'm relieved for the hostages who've been returned, although they can't really talk about what they went through because they got threatened. But I have to say that woman, that 36-year-old woman, I wish I had her name right now, who looked at at Hamas in the eyes and was just like, go fuck yourself. She is a fucking hero. But, you see when they release the hostages, how they have, they're all their faces are hidden, of course. And they have people on video, with video cameras or film, whatever, making them wave and taking videos of this. It's the propaganda war. They are just winning. The fact that Netanyahu knew about this, I mean, shit's going to hit the fucking fan. He is fucked up. He's just awful. I'm sorry. He is awful. But these horrible, I don't know if you know that in Toronto, and I'm not saying pro-Palestinian, I'm saying pro-Hamas. These are pro-Hamas people are targeting Jewish-owned businesses and surrounding them. This is shit from the 30s. This is shit from the fucking 30s. Okay? The way people are behaving. And the fact that we as Jews have to constantly remind everyone, this is a terrorist organization who hates you too. And, there's this, they're always saying free Palestine, free Palestine. Israel hasn't been in Gaza, as we know, since 2005. But, you want a Palestinian state. You've been offered it so many times. And yet Hamas continues to abuse its citizens, the citizens of Gaza, the children of Gaza. There's so many children because they have, most of their population is very, very young, which is why there's no genocide, because there's actually more of them than there were. But they deserve to live with dignity. They deserve to live in peace. And yet you keep blaming Israel, but it is Hamas that has put them in this situation. I'm sorry, but that is a fucking fact. And Israel is fighting Hamas with the anti-Semitism going through the fucking roof, and the misinformation and the bullshit that I got to do a podcast of just bullshit that I read on the internet because it's so fucking ridiculous. Anyway, this week it is Hanukkah. And, it's sad. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. They're in a dark tunnel. It is a festival of triumph over evil and survival and survival. I'm trying to say the word survivalship, but I don't think it's a word. But that's what the holiday's about. It is going to be bittersweet because of the almost, 140 hostages that are still there. They're still there that are underground. Children, women, and men. You want a ceasefire, people? They still have our people there held hostage, and the things they did to them, and the fact that women have not been speaking out against the atrocities. These women were raped. They were shot while they were being raped. It's so horrible. I don't even want to talk about it, but we have to, because we're fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting for our existence. And it really is really upsetting. So anyway, that's that. I want to tell you about the gigs I do have coming up. I do have, what am I doing? I'm doing something this week. I'm doing a benefit at the Laurie Beachman Theater on Wednesday. I love the Laurie Beachman Theater. It is at, I think it's downstairs from the West Bank Cafe on 42nd. It's a great, great place. I'm also going to my PT that day. I also want to let you know that December 12th, we have live podcast with Modi. We're going to talk about everything that's going on, and tickets are really selling out. That's at the Midnight Theater on December 12th, which is Tuesday, December 12th. Doors open at 6, 7 o'clock show. Gonna be great. Do I have anything on the 13th? No, I'm looking at but on the 16th, I'm at South Orange Performing Arts Center with Liz Glazer and John Fish. And that is going to be a great fucking show. So go to my website, judygold.com, and get tickets. Or go to the link in my bio on Instagram, or go wherever you can to get tickets to the South Orange Performing Arts Center, because that's going to be fucking amazing. Also, I want you to know that on December 25th, which is the birthday of Jesus, Christmas Day, I will be doing a show at Stand Up New York. I think it's at 7, and there will be there are VIP tickets that include, I think, Chinese food. Don't quote me. At a meet and greet, and it's right on the Upper West Side. And it's going to be fun. And Liz Glazer's on that show too. So that's going to be like, I love performing on Christmas, because it's just, it's, either miserable people who hate their fucking families and Jews. And it's great, because I'm miserable and I'm a Jew. So anyway, there's that and that. I have gigs coming up in January, but listen, it's the holiday season. It's December. I'm in pain. Elise has been taking care of me, and she's been good, but it's not easy. I'm not easy. We're not easy, and especially like I just want to get the fuck out of here. But anyway, you are probably out somewhere, hopefully listening, and I want you to enjoy. I want you to sit back. I want you to relax, and I want you to enjoy part 2 of my interview with the wonderful Zainab Johnson. So you pack your car, you go to LA, and you start taking improv, sketch classes. And you said that in college you would go to comedy shows. That was like a thing that we want to go out, let's go to a comedy show. So you were a comedy fan.
We go down to the cellar, Judy.
Right.
Yeah, we go down to the cellar, and freaking, like make friends with somebody like Keith Robinson
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
and it's like, and then they just open up the door to, like, y'all little young girls. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah. Oh,
little
of course.
21.
Yeah. So, and Keith was one of your mentors.
Yeah.
He got you. I heard a story that he got you. You were like, oh, I'm a comedian. And he was like, oh, really? Okay. And he got you a spot at Stand Up New York, which is on the Upper West Side.
Yes, he
And
got me the check spot.
yeah, the check spot. Let's explain to everyone the fucking shit check spot. The check spot is the shit spot, and they always give it to the least experienced comedian to make them suffer. But when you're at a comedy show and there's another show after, so if there's an 8 o'clock show and then a 10 o'clock show and then a midnight show, they drop checks on the tables about an hour into the show so the checks can be paid and then everyone get the fuck out so they can seat the next show. So that's between the third and fourth comic. It's sort of in between there. So
it's a short spot. It's usually like 5-6 minutes. It's a short spot.
And no one's paying attention. They're all looking at their checks going, fuck, I can't believe I have to pay for this. Why did you order that? You fucking asshole. I can't believe the cover charge. What do you mean there's a 2-drink minimum? It's like, it's the worst fucking spot. But it does let you grow the balls. But you did it.
Yeah.
You did it.
I did it.
And Keith said, you got off stage and Keith said, you got something.
You got something.
I could just hear him saying that. I just can hear him saying that right now. And he was like, shit. He was pissed off.
He said, I'm so mad. Oh, you got something. Okay. He said, now you know what you got to do. I said, what? He said, watch the news.
Yeah. You do. You have to watch the news.
Yeah.
It's shit, but you have to. You got to know what the fuck is going on. So you were taking these classes and you realized, no, I want to do stand-up. I don't want to do sketch. I don't want to do improv. You also mentioned in an interview that you were on the debate team, that all of these things sort of gave you the confidence.
No, I was never on a debate team.
Oh my God. I read that you ran track in college.
No, I don't know who wrote that. I didn't run track.
Fuck. Who the fuck wrote that shit?
I ran track before I played basketball. I definitely ran track before I played basketball, but that's in middle school.
Fuck it. Fuck. Okay, whatever article that was is shit. All right, this better be true. That your friend took you to a comedy show that was all female comedians.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh God, thank God. That's true. That sort of gave you this.
Okay, so in every moment, I don't know that I'm having this realization in the moment.
Right.
But like, you know how you realize it, like, yeah, you
process it.
It's like retrospectively.
Oh, that's what that was for.
Yeah, like I remember a few things happening. I remember my friend telling me to audition for a show when I first moved to LA. He told me to audition for a show. He's like, hey, BET is doing this like prank dating show and they're looking for funny women. And I'm like, well, why are you calling me? And he was like, because you're funny. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, Zainab, just go. You are funny, right? So I remember that being like, maybe in my adult life, the first person that like said and acknowledged, like, no, you are funny. I don't care what you say, what you think, you are funny, right? Now, fast forward, like I'm taking, classes at Groundlings. I'm taking classes at UCB. I was a part of like an actual like sketch and improv group that we just used to do clubs around like LA. It's like out of work actors or comedians and writers just trying to find a way to be creative and like find, make friends and things like that. But then I remember going to this, at this point when this happened, I was working for a guy who managed comedians and he used to book a weekly show at the Comedy Store. So every single week I am interfacing with a comedy show, like directly with a comedy show and comedians, right? And then a friend of mine was like, hey, come with me to this show. It's an all-female lineup. Like she had a friend that was on the show. And so it's like 10 women and they're all doing comedy. And, you know, I get that it wasn't, I hate to say it now. Like at the time I thought, oh gosh, these people aren't funny. I try my best not to say that now because I never want to contribute to that stupid narrative that women aren't funny, right? But I did feel like, oh, this isn't really funny, and I think I know why. That's the bigger part to me.
Right.
Like in retrospect, I'm like, oh, you were a comedian because you weren't just having an opinion. You had like a thesis. You had a solution. You had you know what I'm saying? You were trying to rewrite jokes in your head. When I was going to this comedy show, working with this comedy show every week, I would listen to comics and then rewrite their jokes in my head or try to like reverse engineer it. Like, oh, it's working because he made this face or he said it like this. Oh, he can, because he's big, he can only see, somebody else can't say that.
Right.
I was doing all of this in my head, but not thinking like, ooh, because I'm going to be a comedian. It just started happening, right? Then I remember I went to Vegas. Maybe like when they rebooted like Def Comedy Jam or something like that. I'm very close friends with Will Sylvan. And Will used to drag me along to everything comedy related, right? And he's like, we're doing it, they're doing a whole Def Comedy Jam, festival or something like that in Vegas, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just me, Will, and Damon Wayans Jr. We're just hanging out, in Vegas during this comedy festival. And I remember I went to that was my first time seeing Tiffany Haddish perform, right? And then the next, like maybe that night, I went to like an after party, and I remember Stan Lathan stopping me and saying, hey, are you Zainab Johnson? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I heard you have great comedic timing. And I was like, what? Now, Judy, I don't know where he got that from. Right. I didn't even have a resume. You know what I'm saying? I had done nothing for
Weren't
somebody
you
to know
waiting for
that.
him to say, like, I heard you have great tits or something, and then he comes out with that? Okay, yeah. I heard you have great tits. Comedic timing, yeah.
But I was like, you know what? If he heard it, then it must be true.
Right. Someone said something.
I responded to him. I was like, yeah, I do. But Judy, I know I don't got nothing to like. If he would have said, send me a reel the next day, I would not have had anything.
Yeah.
Right. So all of that is like percolating in my mind. I get back to LA and I'm at my boyfriend's house. And he has this like casting director. He's friends with this casting director. So she's there with like her love interest, whatever. And I am reenacting the entire show that I saw in Vegas. I mean, I'm doing imitations. I'm doing everybody's material. Right. I'm giving my opinion. I'm like, and then they did this. And why would you do when did it? When we go on a rant, Judy, I'm in the rant and I have everybody is like captive audience, right? I don't think nothing of that. That was just a day in my life, right? Fast forward, when I decided to quit this job for this manager that I was working for, I don't know why it came in my head to go to an open mic. Like, I don't know where that came from. I have no idea, but I know that I went to his office and I was like, hey, I did not move to LA to work in the office and to be somebody's assistant. So I just want to put in my 2 weeks notice. And then I sat down and I Googled open mics. I lived in North Hollywood at the time. I Googled
you went to
open
a
mics
hookah
in North
lounge?
Hollywood.
Is that right?
I went to a hookah lounge 2 blocks from my house. And I got up there and the rest is
history.
Like history. But what the thing about it is when I remember two things. First, I had shaved my head that year, and my friend was like, called her, and I was like, guess what? She was like, well, I was like, I just shaved my head, and she was like, oh my God, I'm coming over. Let me see. And then when she walked in, she was like, but I knew you would look nice because you always pull your hair back in a ponytail and it looks great. So I knew you would look nice, right? It was like a no-brainer for her.
Yeah.
And then fast forward way later in the year, I call her again and I'm like, hey, I'm about to go to this place and do stand-up. And she's like, okay, I'm going to meet you there. She didn't get there until the very end of my 5-minute set, right? And so when I got off stage, I was like, oh my God, I think everybody's laughing. People stop smoking hookah, like they're with me, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna be a comedian. And she was like, girl, I told you was funny. Like, I don't know why this is taking so long for you to get
Right.
it. Like, yeah. And then I just haven't stopped since.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.
You do the road, right?
Yeah.
A lot, which is so important. A lot of people don't understand how important that is. I mean, and I love that, and I heard someone ask you, do you alter your material for where you are? And you said, absolutely not. This is my act. And you're 100% right. I love that. I love that, this is my act and I'm bringing it to you. But you learn so much on the road. You learn so much because it's not easy.
Yeah, and there is a little bit of like figuring out how to maintain your act when you're in a place and it's not working. I mean, or the audience is like a different audience than you're used to.
Yes.
Yeah, you figure out, but it's like if I went to a different city and changed just for that city, well, I mean, I've never built a set. Like, who am I?
Right.
Who, that to me sounds almost like, let's say Judy, you and I, right, we're really close friends. And then you and I go to 4 different houses in one night, right? And every single house I show up to, I'm a completely different person. And you're like, God damn, who is my friend?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I knew Zainab. But I want people, my stand up is like, I'm inviting you into my world.
Right.
I'm not coming into your world.
Exactly.
Now, I'm very aware. So I'll acknowledge when I'm doing my set and there has to be like, it's not going as planned, or they're having some. I acknowledge what's happening.
Of course, you have to.
A lot of times that helps build material. Then
exactly.
I'm like, I'm doing this joke about houses right now, and I use the word bespoke, and I said it, and like a few people laughed, and then one woman came up to me after the show and was like, people got to know what bespoke means. So now the next time I do the joke, I do it. It's the same thing. And now my tag is, I recognize y'all got to know what bespoke is. You know what I'm saying? Now I got a tag.
Right. It's exactly right. That's how bits get built. Yeah.
Yes.
And you can't do that without stage time. And, 12 minutes or 15 minutes at a club in New York is not going to build your act, so you can sustain for a half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour.
Judy, I'm so happy you said this, because I am finding that some comics are looking at me like okay. So I have been on the road lately, like I'm getting back out there because I just taped an hour. And so now I have to build new material, right? And people are like, how's the tour going? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not on tour. I'm on the road,
right?
But I'm not on tour. And they're like, yeah, but it's a tour, right? I'm like, no, for me, the job of a comedian is going on the road so that we can do long form sets.
Absolutely.
So that we can build material. Now, once I build that material, then I'll go on a tour that either leads up to the taping,
yes,
or I'll tour after the taping. Do you know what I'm saying? But
yes, it's the same. Yes,
going on the road is a part of the job,
right? And it's like, if you can't stand up there for 45 minutes and keep their attention and keep them engaged and keep them laughing, then, you need to be up there for that period of time to be able to sustain for that period of time. And that's why these people who do like stupid, 1-minute videos get 1 billion followers, and then the club hires them to go do an hour, and they can stand up there for maybe 5 minutes. That is destructive to comedy, and it's, you're doing it the right way. This is exactly what being a comedian is. Yeah.
Even people like ask, people kind of sometimes tease me about like trying to like maintain my health, which is, that's so crazy, right? People are like, oh, you eating kale again, bitch? You eating kale? It's like, whoa, why is that? But I realize when I'm on the road and I'm doing 2 shows a night, like when you're doing 2
Oh my
hours,
God, it's so
I realize
exhausting.
how physically exhausting.
Right.
I can even, sometimes if I'm having a good old time, we done got into like crowd work. We done went, me and the crowd, we done went on a journey. Now I realize, oh shit, I'm up there for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
It hits, the fatigue hits me. And sometimes I'll just have to end my set like, okay, you guys, I can't, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm so
Right.
I don't even
Okay,
know
I'm
what I'm gonna do.
exhausted. Yeah.
I gotta go. Yeah. Like I'm mentally and physically
because
exhausted.
you can't focus on anything else. And it's so interesting that you say that because, I'll be up there and I'll do an hour, whatever, an hour plus. And I'm like so hyper focused, and then I'm done and I'm like, ow, my knee, ow, my whole body hurts. You know what I mean? And you don't realize it goes away. It's like when you're sick and you're like, fuck, I have to do a set. And then you get on stage and you're fine. You're fine for the set.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
how
then it
is
all comes right back to you.
How, I just wonder, cause I've been doing stand up for 41 years. Now,
Really?
yes.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. I just found this. I'm going to post it, but I just found this. I'm going through all my shit and I'm throwing it out. But I'm not throwing this out. This program from 1984, where I did stand up at Rutgers, where I went to college, and it said that I had first performed at Catch a Rising Star in August of 1982. I was doing stand up in 1980. I mean, like, I can't even, whatever. How is it? I
That's
know
amazing,
that
though.
the
That's
road,
amazing.
and I love it. I love being a comedian, but the road was awful for us. Is it okay? Are you comfortable? I had, I've talked about clubs putting on like filthy guitar acts before me, just because I was a female headliner, just to make it more difficult for me and stuff. Do you get any of that kind of stuff anymore? No.
No, I think that, unfortunately, yeah, well, fortunately you crawled so that, we could walk, Judy. It's not that, I'm not experiencing stuff like that.
Good.
Although I will say that I noticed a difference in like, oh, when I was featuring like I've had like the terrible, comedy
Oh,
condo
please.
experience,
Awful. These
Yeah.
condos, and you have to share it with men because they never put 2 women on a show. Ugh.
you know, and then like moving into being a headliner, but not really being able to sell that many tickets.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's not really like you're a developmental act. And so they're not laying out the red carpet for you.
Right.
And like, it's getting a bit better for me at this point. Like I'm doing more door deals, selling out shows, things like that. And so I can see, I see the difference in treatment, especially it's like now I choose my lineup. You know what I'm saying? I don't bring people on the phone, but let me know who you choose and I'll approve of them or not. And then we'll change it or but yeah, I've heard stories from especially female comedians, before me, where it's been
Please.
so
Awful.
bad, even in hotel rooms and things, like
Oh.
having to share a hotel room with a male act. And thankfully, so I'm so thankful that hasn't been my experience. The worst that I've experienced is like, yeah, I'll show up and I'm headlining and this manager of the club wants to put on his two friends and not even ask my
Oh
permission
yeah,
if they
right,
can do their
exactly.
spot,
Yeah.
And then and me not knowing better, it's like the first night I'm like, oh, I guess there's 4 people on the show before me. And then me calling someone like Keith, like, yeah, this and this is happening. And he's like, fuck,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Right.
No, that's not what's supposed to happen.
Exactly.
They got to ask your permission. You the headliner, whatever. And then it's like, and then me taking that and arming myself with the information of the people that came before me and saying, you got to ask me. Nobody's on my show. Let me call my agent. Let me
right.
Let me activate everybody because you're not going to just treat me any old way.
Yeah. Yeah. You really have to stick up for yourself.
Yeah. And then sometimes you have like, especially if I'm performing at a venue that's now moving into comedy, but it's not a comedy club.
Oh yeah, they're the worst.
And they don't know.
Yeah. And they don't know the sound system sucks, and you're like, no.
Yeah.
You have to turn
really
the fucking
get on
lights off in the audience, you asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This week's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, I am a huge advocate for therapy. I talk therapy. I like physical therapy too, but I'm talking about talk therapy. I've been in therapy since I'm 18 years old. There is nothing better. Nothing better. And it is a stressful time. We just had an election. It's the holidays, and we're going to have to spend family time or not spend family time. It's a decision you might make in therapy, because therapy is really the best way, the only way to process your feelings, anxiety, depression, everything. I've been doing it for over 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. So if you've been thinking about starting therapy, if you thought about it for years and just didn't do it, please give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient. It's flexible. It's suited to your schedule. You go to betterhelp.com/JudyGold. You fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch your therapist at any time for no additional charge. I've done that multiple times in my life, switch therapists. It works. It works. And I know a lot of people who have used BetterHelp, and they love it. So find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/JudyGold today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JudyGold. You're welcome. I just want to say that you are the host of 100 Humans, and there was another thing, something on Amazon. Well, is your special on Amazon?
Yeah, my special is on Amazon. It's not out. It comes out October 24th.
Yes, so it is out.
Yes, it's out. It's called Hijabs Off.
Yeah,
it's called Hijabs Off.
Hijabs Off. You are.
I love it.
Such a treat, and your life is so interesting. I'm telling you, first of all, you better give me a part on your fucking series that they create of the old Jewish woman down the street who is constantly complaining. But what else could I be? I could be your therapist.
Or my manager.
Oh yeah, I could totally be. I would be great at being your manager. Thank you. But I know that this life that you have led and lived is going to be brought to the screen. I just know it. And you're gorgeous, which is so fucking annoying and funny and smart. But I can't. I ask my podcast guests 2 things. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions that you must answer. Number 1.
Okay.
What do you do for your mental health? We're very pro mental health at this podcast.
I get up and I run. I am I would say a jogger, a runner. Like I am a morning runner. I am one of those people when you get up, you get your morning coffee and you see somebody dart past you, 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Ew, that's what time you get up?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not a
Yeah.
real
And I
comic.
don't,
You're not a real comic.
I am. I am. That's why I need my mid-afternoon
Oh,
naps
okay. As long as you take a nap.
because
And
yeah, yeah.
how far do you run? I was a runner. And now I've had
Hmm.
one knee replacement. I'm getting another one in a month because, I'm tall and big, not good body for running. But long are your runs?
Now I consistently run like about 5 miles. I used to run the longest that I was running every day, not every day, but like maybe 5 days a week was about 8 miles. I
Oh my
haven't done
God.
I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that during the pandemic.
Right.
Now I'm like a consistent 4.5 to 5 miles.
Wow,
But
that's
I
great.
ran, I ran on Monday. I ran in New York. My favorite thing to do in New York when I'm in New York is run Central Park.
Yeah, it's the best.
And yeah, and so on Monday I ran 7.5 miles
Fuck you.
because I ran from Harlem. I ran from Harlem
Into the
down
park,
to Central Park, ran all the way
which
around
is
Central
six
Park, and then
point
back up to Harlem.
one,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
I know it's so funny.
yeah,
I ran the marathon, and you just know exactly how many miles every loop in that park is. I love
yeah.
that. Running that park is so amazing. It's so
It's
amazing.
wonderful. When I was a kid, my mom used to walk us around the park. She would either walk us around the park or walk us around the reservoir.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That is a lasting memory for me. And I was talking to my mom recently, and she said, Zainab, I feel so bad sometimes because we really didn't have like the money for me to do to put you in a lot of extracurricular activities. She said, that's why I would just get up and walk you guys around the
Right,
park. And she said it, she was like sad and
right,
apologizing to me. And I was like, this is so interesting because that is one of my fondest memories
right. And
of
it,
my
yeah.
childhood,
And you're
you
carrying it
know?
on now.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I hate you. Um, okay. The number 2 question I always ask. All right. So the podcast is called Kill Me Now because
Hmm.
you know me. I get aggravated about every fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't take it. Kill me now. So what makes you makes you crazy pissed off? Like it could be anything. It could be the littlest thing, but what makes you fucking so mad that you want to say kill me now?
When people don't do their jobs,
Oh my
when people
God,
don't do their
yes.
jobs,
Yes.
when people don't do their jobs,
Yes.
it's like, then I'm trying to have empathy for you, but it's like, this is so
Oh
simple,
my
lady.
God.
You're here. You have to be here. You can't go anywhere. And I'm asking you a simple question that you
Right.
know the answer to.
Right.
Just stop being an asshole. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop it. You're here on the clock. I'm not asking you for
And
a favor.
right. It's the other thing that like I'm going to take it to another level. Like I start feeling like that. Like when I call and order something and I'm really specific and your job is to write that down and put that in a bag and get it delivered and it's all wrong. Like this is your job to listen, right? Like, I'm just like, do your fucking job. And I don't have to tip you. I don't have to tip you for pouring me a cup of fucking coffee.
But even everywhere, I remember I was on set for a project, and the props person, it's like your job is the props. You ain't got to do much. All you got to do is when we need this prop, that's where you show up. Why don't you have the props? I don't. And I would be watching because I'm
Right.
having like a fit in my body because
Right.
listen, I'm only the actor. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I
And
have
you
no
can't be
I'm
cunty. You
not.
can't be cunty because then everyone's like,
You
oh,
know.
she's a cunt. Yeah.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'm flabbergasted. Sometimes to the point, Judy, where I laugh out loud because I'm in
Right.
such disbelief of. Hold on. Okay, so you didn't have the prop yesterday. You
Right.
knew you messed up the prop or the prop was broken, but now we here doing the same thing, needing the same prop 2 days later, and you still didn't.
Right.
How are you still employed? I'm so confused.
It's unbelievable.
Like,
It's unbelievable. And then in our business, people fail up. Like they fuck up TV shows, and then they're like, oh, they're hired as vice president of programming, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how does that happen? Like if we have a shitty set, We don't get the fucking gig.
I was in a car with Yamanika.
Oh my
Yamanika.
God, I love my girl. Okay.
So I don't know. I think I was like, we were in a car looking for parking or something like that, and there's a officer in a patrol car parked. We're in Harlem. He's parked, and I pull up to him, and I'm like, "Hey, do you know if we can park here?" And he's like, my mind. And so anybody else would have probably been like, "Okay, officer, thank you." They would probably,
Right.
And I said, "Wait, I'm sorry. Do you not know? Because if you don't know, you can tell me you don't know. You don't.
Right.
Please don't waste my time. And it's fine if you don't know. Like, you're not Google Maps, but I do expect you to know the city you're patrolling." He sat up in his seat and like he got it together. He was like, "No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're not supposed to." And then he answered my question, but he wasn't going to do it.
Right.
He was not going to do it.
Right.
It's like, and Yamanika said, Zainab, there is something real special about you, because most people wouldn't have even talked to a cop that way.
Right.
But for me, it's just like, I don't understand it, sir. I don't understand what's happening. Like, I am asking you a very simple question. You're on the clock because you're in uniform.
Right.
Your whole job is to be helpful to me as a citizen.
Right, and protect you. And
yeah, what is going on?
Oh,
or should I park here and then you get out and give me a ticket?
Right.
I'm trying to prevent.
Right, exactly.
Like,
right.
What's happening? What's
and then
happening?
you get a ticket, and then you have to write. I asked the cop. I just, I get it. Zainab.
Even one last one, Judy. One last.
Yeah,
one.
Go ahead. I love this.
Comedy, even in stand up. Unfortunately, when a comic bombs so bad that they mess up the room.
Oh yeah,
right. They mess up the energy in a room, and then the host goes up on stage and does nothing to clean it up.
Right.
The host is like, "You ready for your next comic?" It's like,
no, you clean up the fucking mess.
This now is when you do your job.
Right. Exactly.
Now, do your freaking job.
Right.
And now I got to spend 5 minutes of my set hosting, cleaning up the room before I can get into my. Just do your job.
That is the worst. That is the fucking worst. Oh God, I could talk to you all day. Did you run this morning? Oh no, because you got off the plane. Oh, all right.
Yeah. But I can't wait. In LA, when it's hot, you have to get up and run in the. You either have to run in the morning or at night. And so I probably won't run today, but the first thing I thought was, I can't wait to go for a run tomorrow.
I know, the endorphins
that release.
Yeah. Zainab, I hope everyone watches your special on Amazon. And
please do.
And I really, you have such a great future ahead of you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I need to be a part of it. I really do.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you.
And I can't thank you enough for doing the podcast. You're such a delight. And where can people follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter or X is Zainab Johnson, Zainab Johnson. TikTok, it's the Zainab Johnson.
The Zainab Johnson, yeah.
The Zainab Johnson. My website is Zainab Johnson, and that'll link you to everything if you want to come see me perform if I'm in a city near you. But that's how you can find me and watch my special.
And watch her special, and I hope you come to New York soon so we can hang. And you can do some cheers from your cheerleading days. Fucking asshole.
From my damn, my fake pom-pom days.
Yeah, from your debating and pom-pom days. Zainab, thank you so much.
You're the best. Judy.
Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of my interview with Zainab Johnson. Get her album, Hijabs Off. Oh, did they call it an album? We'll download it. It's great. Her special. It's called a special. I don't even know. I'm so fucking on. I haven't been taking the oxycodone. I've been taking the Tylenol, but I think I might take. I don't feel good. So thank you. She's amazing. Again, this podcast was. Look at me. I'm so fucking tired. It was edited by Colin Schmaling, produced by Laura Vogel, marketed and whatevered by Brittany Jo Sowards Richmond. And don't forget, we have a live podcast coming up December 12th with Modi at the Midnight Theater. Tickets are going FAST. That's spells out fast. On the 16th, we have South Orange Performing Arts Center with Liz Glazer and John Fish in New Jersey. And that's my home state, and it's going to be a great Jewy fucking celebration show. Ben has been doing great in his basketball. They did an interview. They did a podcast with him, and he mentioned me. So I'm in love with him. But I'm in love with Henry too. So I'm in love with Elisa. Well, I'm in love with Elisa different than I am with Henry and Ben. Like, I love Henry and Ben because they're my sons, and I'm in love with Elisa. Okay, who cares? Anyway, I want to shout out Mazel Tov. Well, I could shout out to the parents, but I'm going to shout out my oldest friend, Howard Rosenstein, one of my best, closest people in my whole life, and his wife, Sherry Rosenstein. Yes. They are grandparents. They are new grandparents to beautiful Molly Adele Rosenstein, and everyone's healthy. Everyone's happy. And it's just beautiful. I can't believe that my friends are grandparents now. They're grandparents. And, it makes me feel old. Yeah, so that's that. Can't believe it. I mean, I want to be a grandparent, but not right now. I can't even walk. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be a really good grandparent. But it's going to be really hard. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because there's going to be multiple grandmothers. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's going to be multiple. And so I am going to have to really sort of, which I can do. I can make myself special. But yeah, it's not, I don't know. That's not the thing that I want. Oh, and I wanted to also say, so Mazel Tov, and also I wanted to say, fuck you, Susan Sarandon, go fuck yourself. Okay? I don't accept your stupid apology. These people act like they're so smart, right? And then what do? They say the stupidest fucking shit in the world. And they're like, oh, I didn't mean it. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay, so that's that. Mazel to Howard and Sherry and their son, Adam, and his wife, Madeline. They're all Jews, more Jews in the world. There's nothing better. And babies. What else do I have to tell you? That's it. Come see my shows. Hopefully I'll be able to stand the entire time, but I doubt it. And I'll have a lot to say, especially being an aged woman who has a brand new knee. Okay. Happy Hanukkah to everyone. I hope it's a joyous one. I said joyous, yeah. I can't believe anyone is listening to the end of this. I can't believe any fucking person is still listening to me, but I love you if you are. And as we always say, so long.